Whoa, it's late. The neighborhood is quiet, but it's not peaceful, it's regulated. Someone's HOA just updated their bylaws, and the tyrants of taste have spoken. No more pink flamingos, no more velvet Elvis, no more gnome with a fishing pole giving you the finger from the azaleas. Because apparently, freedom ends where the lawn begins. Tonight we dive into a clause so specific, so surgical in its cultural contempt, it can only have been written by someone who gets aroused by beige paint swatches and cries when they see a NASCAR flag. I'm FocusDan. This is the Midnight Transmission. You ever see something so petty, so precise in its hatred that it had to be personal? That's this clause. I've got it in front of me. A real lease agreement. Let me read it to you, verbatim, because this is the kind of language that smells like a country club and tastes like passive aggression. The tenant agrees to refrain from displaying hand-painted art on velvet canvas that resembles figures such as Elvis Presley, Dale Earnhardt, or John Wayne. Excuse me? What kind of Cold War psyop is this? This isn't a lease agreement. It's a cultural assassination. They didn't just ban velvet art. They named names. They named legends. Elvis, Dale, Wayne, the holy redneck trinity, the king, the intimidator, the duke. You put those three on a wall and you've got yourself a shrine that smells like engine grease, and I say that with honor. But apparently the Neighborhood Aesthetics Tribunal has deemed them unfit, unsuitable, tacky, overly kitsch. You know what's overly kitsch? A paragraph that reads like a war crime against Americana while still pretending to be about property values. Oh, but it doesn't even stop there. Using plastic pink flamingos and gnome yard ornaments in the front yard is strictly frowned upon. Frowned upon. That's the real dagger. Not illegal, not prohibited, just frowned upon. That's a threat in a turtleneck. That's how white-collared cults enforce obedience without ever raising their voice. Now here's what they're really saying. This neighborhood is a curated illusion. It's Stepford, sterilized, a strip mall simulation of refinement. They want your lawn like they want your mind. Orderly, subdued, and free of personality. And why? Because Velvet Elvis scares them. Because a pink flamingo says, I don't care what the board thinks. Because a gnome giving the bird is a freedom totem, and they know it. This isn't about taste. This is about control. Because once they've banned your flamingo, they've banned your rebellion. And what comes next? You'll see. First, they'll frown at your lawn. Then they knock on your door about unauthorized seasonal lighting. Next thing you know, your welcome mat's been reported to the compliance subcommittee because it had too much font variety. It's the culture erosion of joy. One prohibited garden gnome at a time. Let me tell you something. Kitsch is America's last honest art form. You think Velvet Elvis is tacky? Good. That means it's alive. Taste is just elitism in a sweater vest. But tacky? Tacky's fearless. Tacky's free. Tacky doesn't care if your brunch guests whisper. Tacky flips the bird from the begonias and waves a little flag that says, I exist outside your taste-based prison. They didn't ban the gnome because it was ugly. They banned it because it couldn't be controlled. And deep down, they know a pink flamingo and a manicured lawn is a protest in feathers. I'm FocusDan. This is Midnight Transmission.